There are things I need of you. Things you may not understand, you may not wish to do. But please, do not make the same mistakes I did. My father, Howard, deserted me before I was born, but he claimed the loss of my mother, and the letter I received after her funeral blinded me to what I had to do. It would be a lie. Human nature sealed my downfall. My name is Philip. If we are lucky, and by the time you receive this, I will be dead. If fate frowns, we all perish. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is TimesNewLogan, and welcome to Penumbra Overture. For those of you who don't know, this is made by the same people, Frictional Games, who would later develop Amnesia: The Dark Descent and Soma. I figure, what better way to kick off the Halloween season, several weeks late because I lost the footage, than to go back to the roots of first-person survival horror games with stealth elements and physics puzzles. I figure this seems like a good place to start. From what I understand, there are 3 games in this series. I'll try to play all of them. For now, let's dive into Penumbra Overture. The lights are off, the headphones are on, and I'm ready to go. For players who are bad at action games, screw that. My story began in February, year 2000.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline. His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went, as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me. The university I taught at was world-renowned for 2 things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland. It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever taken. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day, and I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Somehow I get the feeling that a strip of ice a few feet wide wouldn't support the weight of a plane. Even a plane from the mid-1900s. Finally, we're almost stopped. I better stay my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse, and I can take a closer look at things using right mouse. And like that, the 4th wall is gone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in a video game. I'm looking at a map, because the player is going to click left. Sorry, right. This player is very bad. Ooh, tomato soup. Bit of lag here. Let's see. Ingredients, condensed milk, and there. I'll just read this one. It's much closer. Uncle Cthulhu's Squid Soup. Made in Japan, no doubt. Have a nice toss. Yes. Jake Angels. Jake Daniels. Tennessee whiskey. Of no relation to Jack Daniels. Have fun sleeping on that bed. Absurd, this map's a good decade or so out of date. Landmarks don't change much in Greenland, so I've got a pretty decent idea of where I'm heading. That is, until global warming attacked. Always good to have a notebook to jot down interesting information and reminders. Blah, I can't talk today. Seriously? Is this all you have to eat? Squid soup? I mean, Uncle Cthulhu's a nice guy, but... man. It's in my inventory somewhere. Uh-huh. For those of you who don't know, in Britain they call a flashlight an electric torch, and in the United States we call an electric torch a flashlight. Dearest Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I left you a little something to remember me behind the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. What does a fisherman's wife know of life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need, so you can come home to me safely, and soon. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know. I've washed those overalls of yours. I know you'll get them covered in assorted fish parts in no time, but I still feel better knowing they've had a wash. Before I forget, Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you'll be coming by any trout, but I said they were mostly out of season. If you happen upon any, don't say anything. Stow them well in the ice, and I'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. The ship's captain deserves a little special treatment once in a while. Take care, my love. Aww. Aw, she left some Jake Daniels whiskey. I could smash, but I'm not gonna smash. I'm gonna swing. Now, there's a bit of lag here. Hang on a second. Okay. Yeah, maybe that fixed it. As I stepped off the boat, setting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly loud it was. How utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities soon after. I knew hypothermia was setting in. I started looking for shelter. Maybe you should have brought a tent or that coat that I saw hanging up, or... yeah, because you're freezing, it's easy to write. Head went numb long ago, still hear wind, something. I'm so cold I can't read fast enough. Ugh. Rock, you shall be my companion. I shall call you... Davy. Yes, Davy. Oh, Davy. You always have my best interests in mind, even though we've only just met. I'll never abandon you if you never abandon me. You first, Davy. That is the sound of my bowling ball butt hitting the floor. Those are the voices in my head. They're really nice once you get to know them. Jesus, my head. I can't believe I fell that far and survived. Looking around, maybe I didn't. What is this place? Where's Davy? 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 Davy! 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 Hello? Oh no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Emergency exit procedures. Bend over and kiss your butt goodbye because you're not getting up there. Okay, enough jokes about bowling balls and butts. It's a steel rod. It's a red stick. A flare. Yes, I have a piece of flair. I'm going to look so snazzy. Oh boy, more flair. And a nice warm tin of shut the heck up. Bed with best with bread and potatoes. Coffee. I wanted shut the hell up. Empty boxes of ammunition. What is this place? Well, seeing how we've got World War II rations, World War II ammo, World War II flares, and World War II architecture, I'd say we're probably on a space station. Let's see, I can swing this hammer if I hold left mouse. I can make a backswing by pulling the mouse right, and then follow through by pushing left. The opposite works too. Pulling back then thrusting forward produces a stabbing motion. I reckon if I hold down right mouse after the backswing, I should still be able to look around. Okay, let me just piece all that together. Somehow. Okay, yes. 1, 2, stab, stab, 1, 2, stab, stab. Hold it. R. Oh wait, that's not R. Hang on, let me turn the light on. There's R. I don't know. A heavy-looking wooden barrel. Could be anything inside it. Grr! Soup! Eat soup! You're not soup. You know, I never understood why in video games we always have all these barrels and boxes, and yet there's never anything in them. Like, seriously, what's the point? I mean, who on earth just leaves empty barrels everywhere? A game developer. Oh my gosh, it's a dark basement. In the middle of nowhere. No contact with the outside world. Empty barrels everywhere. Disgusting things no one would ever eat. My god. It's Frictional Games headquarters! Maybe it's my basement, I don't know. That was anticlimactic. Expected a loud crunching noise, not a little dunk, dunk. I'll try to ramble less. I'm really just trying to be amusing. Oh god, the madness is kicking in. Everything's blue. Gotta smash it. I'm going this way. Big loud rumbling down there. This way. And... oh. Okay. Okay. Hatch is seriously solid, but it won't open by hand. Someone obviously wanted to keep people out. Maybe we're at EA Games. Hey! Do you have the good version of Battlefront 3 down there? I'm just gonna go on down and check, okay? Hello? Ah, my eyes! A warning would have been nice. Ugh. Oh. Well, time to descend. Whatever I was descending into, it was 100 feet below ground, protected by 2 solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness, and buried beneath the snow. I didn't know what to expect. It made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I'd never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets. Emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers, all there. If something goes wrong, part of a carefully designed structure to prevent all but the most mundane of emotions. Excuse me, but I highly doubt friendship, love, and happiness are mundane. If that's mundane, I never want to know excitement, okay? My friends are important to me. I'd protect them with my life if I had to, but I know they would do the same for me. If that's mundane, then I guess I'll always be mundane, and content at that. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a closing ring of older kids, knowing anyone that might help me. Friends, parents, teachers were too scared or too far away. Okay, I think I just heard growling. Oh, my eyes! Jot down a note just in case. The entrance to the cave is... There could be anything living down here. Heroics are for Hollywood actors and fairy tales. I'm not taking any chances. If I face off against anything down here, I won't last a second. Caution and stealth are my only defenses now. Okay, so the game doesn't pause when I read my notes. That's great. There's no real safe place for me then. You hear growling. Got a hammer. I'm not afraid to use it. Okay, let's see. Northern area. I'm at the little red circle. Got office for important documents and information about the place. Storage for more flares, possibly weapons. Workshop weapons, armor, tools, explosives for fun, and the northern area for progress. I think I want information first. Office it is. Okay. Tiptoe through the window. By the window that the therapy made. Tiptoe through the tulips. Don't eat me. Sneaky. Sneaky. Oh. Ugh. I saw the little eye thing. I thought it was something coming to get me. Sneaky. Nice sneaky. Mind's playing tricks on me. Seeing, hearing things. More bottles. Hooray, an office. Oh, right. Okay. Safe. Secure. Typewriter. Chair. Reports. So many reports. All the reports. A flare! Another piece of flare. Yeah. It's locked. I need a key. I got your key right here. Bah! I think I broke it. Okay. Key. Was that a taco? Beef jerky. Close enough. Do you have any more? Any more jerked beef? Any more beefy jerks? Any more painkillers? Sweet. Beef jerky, painkillers, and a hammer. Oh, it's gonna be a good evening. Light. I miss being outside already. This place is starting to get to me. Even if I could reach that grate, it looks built into the rock itself. No way it's coming loose. Such a pessimist. I don't like this guy. I mean, here I am, away from people, plenty of food, plenty of pills, and some batteries. So if things get too rough, I can just swallow some of those, eh? Meh. Drawers. Note. Key. Ooh, enchanting. Copenhagen Post, Monday 17th, August 1930. That's Denmark, if I recall. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mind-altering chemicals naturally sewn into the rock may be the cause of a high suicide rate in the Greenland mine. The university, which has recently been conducting studies into isolated communities, first became interested in the workers of the northwestern lead mine last year. They discovered that even taking into account Greenland's naturally higher suicide rate, local figures in the last 100 years were abnormally high at 46 deaths per 100,000 populace, compared to the national average of 29. On further investigation, experts diagnosed in many of the miners symptoms in common with the earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. Did we even know about that at the time? There's a chance we did. We discovered Asperger's syndrome a few years later. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, a pH 4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be present in the rocks. The pH level is a measure of the acidity, as I recall. pH 4, I think, is a notch more acidic than water. Few locals were conducive to interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanation. Inuit spirits known as Turngate live in the mountains. The university is awaiting the studies of chemical testing. Studies continue. I thought the Inuits lived in Canada. Or does that just mean people local to the area? Backstrain. Don't know what it is, but I'm snorting it. Oh boy, more reading. 15th of August, 1945. 15 years later. And I think that was 3 days before we nuked Hiroshima. Hiroshima, however it's pronounced. Basically, it was about a week before the war ended. Emergency airstrip Zulu. Weekly report. Another unremarkable week in Greenland. Regular supply shipment received. Standard emergency drills carried out. Routine runway maintenance completed. I've ordered maintenance to be carried out twice weekly from here on in due to increased snowfall. 1 wounded. The 1 wounded figure is no cause for concern back in London. The Germans haven't extended their front line by 4,000 miles. But Germany had already surrendered by this point, hadn't they? Because, I mean, Hitler's birthday is in April. He shot himself 10 days after, I think. And the Third Reich surrendered a week later. When they called up to Dönitz. Could be an alternate dimension. It's a Lovecraftian horror game. I'm sorry, my history geek is showing. 2 of my men were caught manufacturing cherry bombs in our workshop/armory and succeeded in blowing off a couple of fingers. Great job. You managed to mutilate yourself even when you're nowhere near the fighting. Great job. I take partial responsibility for this in that I allowed them to access demolitions manual we keep in the storeroom. I'm sure that's where they learn the ingredients. As a precautionary measure, I have now locked up that manual in the chest in my office and will keep the key on my person at all times. Needless to say, both men have been disciplined, and the injured man has been sent home for medical care. I cannot help but think that a more suitable punishment would have been for him to stay out here, but the matter is out of my hands. And his, since he kinda doesn't have any hands. The base is so disconnected sometimes, I feel as if this war could end and we might not even hear about it out here. Oh, okay, yeah. That's exactly what happened. Supplies requisition order. Dynamite for excavation purposes, 7 bayonets, not necessary in my opinion, but procedure states we should have a full complement. 1 industrial ice pick for removing the damn ice that forms on the external hatch. 1 pair of reading glasses, category 7C, in order for myself. My glasses are in a rather poor state of repair and could do with replacing. Reconditioning of the mine continues to progress. The structure is being fortified from potential bomb damage, and excavation of previously caved-in areas is going ahead. One point of curiosity is some kind of archaeological find, an artifact buried in the earth, and discovered by one of the work teams. Later this evening, after martial duty, I shall take a closer look at the artifact. It appears to be man-made, and may have working parts inside. I shall remove what looks like the front cover and see if I can't discover the source of the light which constantly emanates from it. Chief NCO M. Major. What's the M stand for, mister? Okay, locked up that manual in the chest in my office, etc., etc., etc. Bombs. Oh, wait. No. Not a hammer. Key. Ooh, the Big Book of Explosives. 1923 edition. Which means we've got a ways to go. It's a picture of a British platoon. Must date back to World War II. I suppose this mine was converted into some kind of bunker. Well, you're a little behind me, buddy. Pessimistic and slow to the point. Sheesh. Oh God! A man. An old man clutching something unseen. Yeah, 911? I'd like to report an old man in a trench coat clutching something unseen. He hasn't done anything yet, but I don't think he's wearing socks. He's strange, and yet he is no stranger. Never seen before, still I know this man before me is Howard. I call him Father. Your father's a very twisted individual, Philip. Oh. What the hell? What just happened? I don't know if that was such a good idea. Yeah, it probably wasn't. Let's do it again. Oh. I may never get used to that. Get used to it. Oh. Flashlight. Essence. Flashlight. Essence. Flashlight. Essence. Yes, I shall name my hammer Essence. I think that's all the time I have for now. Seeing how I just saved, it seems like a good place to leave off. So,